And welcome, folks, to the talk show, Let the Truth Be Told. And folks, it's a Thursday night, and man, I'm happy to be in the studio. We got a great conversation. So if you ain't got nothing to do, folks, y'all better call your friends and let them know Pastor David's on the radio right here, TECNTV.com. I'm your host, Pastor David. Thursday Night Live ain't no jive. Taking a blast in the past. The Queen of Soul. And if you ain't got nothing to do, call your friends and let them know. Pastor Lowery's on the radio. Taking a blast in the past.
Just move your hips.
Queen of Soul.
From side to side.
Thursday Night Live.
Sit yourself down in your car and take a ride. And while you're moving, rock steady, baby. Let's call this song exactly what it is. It's a funky and Lord, I'm feeling. In the hips from left to right. What it is I might be doing.
And if you ain't got nothing to do, grab a crew, or whatever that you do. A glass of wine is prime time. Let us educate your mind.
Rock steady, baby. Rock steady, baby.
TECNTV.com. Let the truth be told. Let the truth be told. It'll change your mind and move your soul.
Just move your hips with the feeling from side to side. Sit yourself down in your car and take a ride. While you're moving, rock steady, rock steady. Let's call this song exactly what it is. It's a funky and low down feeling. In the hips from left to right. What it is I might be doing. It's funky dance all
Taking a blast in the past. Queen of Soul. Aretha Franklin. Rocking us steady. Let the truth be told.
Rock steady, baby. Rock steady.
Oh, this brings back some memories.
Rock steady.
Thursday Night Live, TECNTV.com. And I'm your host, Pastor David. Y'all come on in and share it around. Let's get it on. Thursday night. Taking a blast from the past. TECNTV. And like I said, if you ain't got nothing to do, y'all call your friends and let them know. You're listening to Let the Truth Be Told Radio. I'm your host, Pastor David. Y'all come on in. Blast in the past. Aretha Franklin and the Queen of Soul. And like I said, it's a Thursday night, y'all, man, and I'm telling you, we got a great conversation tonight, folks, man. I can't wait to get into the Truth Zone and we get this on because it's something everybody needs to hear. Come on, let us in.
Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right.
On the bridge.
No justice, no justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. Get back!
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Muhammad Ali has just refused to be inducted
Ali had it
into the
right.
United States Armed Forces.
The Biden administration is opening new ways for thousands of people from Cuba,
Look at the
Haiti,
black people
Nicaragua,
replacements
and
right
Venezuela
here.
to
It
legally
was
enter
all
the
a
country.
setup.
Is necessary by any means necessary to protect his life and property, especially in a country where the federal government itself has proven that it is either unable or unwilling to protect the lives and property of human beings.
Global, universal, and coming from the windy city of Chicago, Illinois. Now it's time to let the truth be told with David Lowery.
Now come on in. Thursday night. 544. Hey, welcome, folks, to the talk show. Let the truth be told, I'm your host, Pastor David. And folks, this is a Thursday night, man, and I'm telling you, it's a lot of stuff going on, and we got to have a great conversation this afternoon. But first, let me give all praises to God and my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. That's Yahweh and Yahshua for my Hebrew brothers. So we on point this afternoon. Listen, this is one of these all out. At least y'all see me rubbing my hands. This is one of these all out Thursdays to where nothing will be sacred. Every conversation, everything we talk about is going to be totally unscripted, just like I'm doing it right now. So let me start out by saying this. See, I really don't know what's going on, and we don't know. We do not know what people are thinking today. Now, you would think that, let me take a look at something. Well, I was at the gas station today, and gas, I use premium, so gas was about almost $6 a gallon. I'm going to the grocery store, I'm spending 3 times as much of that money. Personal items are going up so high, man, that you can't hardly buy stuff. You got to buy it in such small quantities that you be scared if you run out. Now, the reason why I'm saying these things, all the politicians is crazy and corrupt. And the reason why I'm saying these things is because the country is really messed up. America is messed up. I mean, it's no question about it that any logical person with common sense would know that the country is in the wrong direction. You got to know that. If you don't know that, then you went to school on a short bus. And that short bus was for special people that was a little slow. Because our country is in turmoil. It is in total chaos. And people are actually running around here looking for excuses to justify unqualified people to be the president and vice president of this country. Now, what happened to it when the first thing that our concerns was our future? Our concerns were for the better quality of life of the American people. Y'all know what I'm talking about here, because those who grew up and those who are understanding what I'm saying know that the time that we are in right now is horrible. Look at the schools, man. They're inundated with people that want to castrate your kids. The wars. Money just being stolen. The politicians are just flat out lying in our face and stealing our money and saying, F us. They don't even care. They don't respect the American people and patriots across this country. Look at all the foolishness. Everything that's going on with this presidential race now, even when Joe Biden had his crippled ass sitting up there knowing he was sick, and the Democratic Party knew he was sick. Kamala Knee-Pad Harris knew he was sick, and nobody said nothing, and our country was being ran by a band of carpetbaggers, and look what happened to us. Everything is failing in our country. Nothing is good. Since Kamala Harris opened up the borders, our city is every town, every small town, every major city is experiencing the invasion of illegal aliens. And the black politicians ain't saying nothing because they getting paid. The white politicians ain't saying nothing. Because they stealing money in every venue. Oh, we think the economy needs to be changed, so let's put about 50 million in that. And nothing can change for the quality of life of the American citizen. Nothing. So here we are. This weekend, I've been doing quite a few interviews. I had an opportunity to be on Steve Gruber's show yesterday talking about the DNC. Well, I kind of got another word for those three letters, all right? It ain't no Democratic. That's cool. The Democratic. Let's throw a few names out there. The Democratic Convention. The Dixiecrat Convention. The Ku Klux Klan Convention. Let's talk about the real convention, okay? The Democrat Convention and the dumb N-word convention. That's right, I said it, the dumb N-word convention. Because black people, after all that we have been through, we've been through slavery. We've seen our children torn apart, and they sold our families just ripped apart. They even ripped black men in half with two horses. This has been one hell of a ride for the black community, and here we are now fighting for our very existence. And the people who are destroying us are the people who say that I'm black when I need to be. Oh, so it's saying that. Let me get Doc in on this show, man. I'm telling you, it's time to wake up. We can't do this no more. This is it, man. This is it. Hey, Doc, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Man, I'm in a fickle position, man, because, I've been doing interviews all week, and I did Steve Gruber's show yesterday. It should air this week sometime before the convention. I know we're checking on it now. I'll let everybody know. But I was talking on there yesterday about how there's going to be well over 100,000 plus people out there.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Because you got everybody pissed off. See, I was at the Republican convention, and there were just a few people out there with signs like, and the convention rolled, and it was good. I mean, now you talking about if to the American people and patriots across this country, I want to appeal to your common sense, and I want to ask you that if our country were being ran the proper way, and we had leadership that was knowledgeable, strong, and capable of making decisions, critical decisions, that had critical thinking, do you think that there would be plus 100,000 people out there to protest your DNC convention? The country is going the wrong way. You know it's going the wrong way. You done made a deal with the devil to destroy America and bring it to hell. All of that's being done to our country. So do you think that this DNC, they don't care if they got two people in the building, they still gonna finish the last part of this satanic ritual that they're completing with this thing by coronating Miss Knee Pads as the presidential candidate? Doc, go on and tell me what you think about this whole thing with her.
Well, I've been listening to some of the chatter online, and I came across one video, and I think it was very poignant to say people don't consider this, is that she never received a single vote. She didn't. The votes were handed over to her. Now, some people will say because she was the vice president that she earned those votes by default, but that's not true, because she already ran for president and she got less than 2% of the vote. And so that's why she bowed out initially and didn't run for president. So you're stealing this election. Like you literally are stealing it in our faces and telling us that this is the presumptive nominee. And I'm like, but she never earned a single vote.
Not one.
I mean, personally, I'm not a Democrat, but I would be furious because you took my vote for somebody else and you gave it to someone. You're allowing this. This is not something that's ever really been done. I don't know in our nation's history. Maybe it has, but
no. You know what, Doc? Let me say this. And to the American people and patriots across this country, we have to see the breaking of the rules. See, we can't keep hiding our head in the sand, acting like these things are not happening. We can see how the Democratic Party continue to break the rules using lawfare. They used it against Trump. We saw that, the exoneration that gave Trump his freedom, and showed the American people that these people are willing to do anything to stay in power.
Yeah.
And so if we see these things, our common sense tell us this is not the people that we should have in office after 3 years. Kamala been in office for 3 years under Joe Biden. She should have reported his bad health a long time ago and took the presidency. That's because she has no common sense. She doesn't have the brain of a rock, and she cackles and laughs and never knows what she's talking about. She's just saying crazy stuff, and it don't make sense. This is what I'm talking about.
Like keeping those private files in some
This is
file
about
cabinet.
let me say this so the American people. This is about storing emails into the cloud, right? This fool actually think that they go into the clouds in the heavens for real. Listen.
Right? It's no longer in a physical place. So you're now no longer are you necessarily keeping those private files in some file cabinet that's locked in the basement of the house. It's on your laptop, and it's then therefore up here in this cloud that exists above us, right? It's no longer in a physical place. So you're now no longer are you necessarily keeping those private files in some file cabinet that's locked in the basement of the house.
You know what? See, Doc, that
there was a better way to explain it. You know, she could have said they are, you know, they're electronically stored on a server referred to as the cloud. They're just in soft copy as opposed to hard copy. Now, that would be a better way to translate it.
But you running for the president of the United States, and you got a college degree, you got a law degree, you've been a U.S. senator, and you ignorant. You can't even explain a simple software. You can't explain a simple system that stores information electronically.
A lot of times people are not in these positions because of their knowledge base. They're in these positions because they can be controlled.
So you know she's a DEI hire. She's DEI, right?
Not necessarily DEI, but she is somebody that was placed where she was because they know that she can be manipulated to do what they want.
Let's just talk about this queen, the Jezebel. Let's talk about the Jezebel, because I'm trying to use nicer words so people don't get turned off about what I really want to say. All right, so people, I'm saying, have you actually looked at her conversation? Have you actually heard her say anything about, well, at least I open the borders because we have to take accountability. We're supposed to hold our politicians accountable. She needs to be saying, let's be for real. This is America. We in trouble. We don't have time to be worried about if he's lying or not. Look at your front door. She should be telling the American people, I screwed up. I opened the borders. I brought these people to invade our communities. She need to be confessing the things that she's done and talking about solutions to bring to the table to fix them. What do you think, Doc?
Well, she didn't do it all on her own. Congress helped.
But she was
Congress helped, and she signed those bills on behalf of Congress. Now we need to look at the Inflation Reduction Act. We need to look at the COVID relief package that was done. All of these things, they were signed off by her. You know, she is the tie vote. She does, you know, work directly with Congress before these bills make it to the president's desk. And that's her job, right? To buffer and say, okay, there are some things that may need to be removed. You may have to go back and amend this, either House or Senate, right? We're looking at some of these packages that we're putting through. But let's be clear, this is just not her. This is also on our Congress. But that does not absolve her from any responsibility of allowing it, right? She went to the border and said, please don't come. Like, that's it. Like that's it. Like, well, that's all you got.
She doesn't have the intelligence. And the American people can see that. You guys see, all she does is laugh. She doesn't never talk with any sense. It's always a sidewind joking. Oh, yeah. That's it, man. She has no substance.
Well, that's signs of being a sociopath.
And
people that are a sociopath do not have very specific social cues, and they turn to laughter to, give levity to the situation. However, it's inappropriate normally where they laugh, where you should have either sympathy or empathy. They have laughter because they really do not have a conscience.
But you know what? And this is why I say media plays a very important role. And I mean, to the American people, we're in a situation right now where I don't think we need to be fooling around, because our country is the existence of our country is at stake right now.
Yeah.
I cannot even imagine waking up after Election Day and seeing these two idiots, a Jezebel and another sociopath who was a Black Lives Matter leader who helped destroy Minneapolis. The town has never come back from it. The governor that's supposed to be the vice president now is a Black Lives Matter member. He's a communist. He's been over to China over 30 times. America, how can we continue to even think about having these type of traitors? These are traitors.
Yeah, they are.
Joe Biden is a traitor.
Plain and simple. See, they want to give us what they think is a solution to a problem, but ultimately that solution is worse than the problem it's trying to solve. And that's where we're at right now. People are just like, we don't want Trump. We're so scared and terrified of him being a dictator. It's like, okay, let's calm down. Everybody, seriously. You also have Robert Kennedy that's running for president as well. So there are three choices. And his choice is becoming more viable because they've put her up. And see, that's the one thing I don't think a lot of people are seeing. It's like, okay, you keep trying to count Robert Kennedy out, but he is a Democrat. He's running independent, but I'm just saying.
And you know what? It's going to affect her.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know Trump people are going to vote for him. There's going to be a surge. Like I said, I was on Steve Gruber's show, and I talked about, and this is the truth, the biggest fear for the Republican Party and the American people and patriots across this country. This is going to be your biggest fear. It is going to be the actual polling places.
Yeah.
It really is. Because, see, Black people haven't been voting in the numbers that they display to you. They have not. I can unequivocally tell you that. But what has happened is that because in the past, we have voted in record numbers. Mm-hmm. And so now they're using our past record of numbers to keep everybody thinking we got Black people lock, stock, and barrel. Mm-hmm. They don't have us lock, stock, and barrel for votes, but they have us lock, stock, and barrel at the polling places, because when you control the polling places, you control the votes. Yeah. And so black people ain't showing up at the polls, but they're controlling the votes, and they're manipulating the machines to make the people think that Black people are coming out voting, and we are really not.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting because even in Henry County, we had a sheriff's election, the primaries, I should say, and the incumbent, pretty much lost. At least that's what we thought, and to another person. And then 2 days later, they said there was a glitch in the system, and all of the votes that went to the other person actually went to the incumbent. I don't believe that for a second. Not at all. And they can continue. It does. And this is the unfortunate part, because it was, that machine. I'm not going to say it here on this show. I don't want anybody coming after us with a cease and desist, but I will say that machine is in more than just Georgia. It's around the country. They're everywhere, but they're predominantly in the battleground, but the battleground states, not just any states. They're in the states that can overturn elections.
Yes,
right.
Yes,
because,
they are.
Yeah, because
that's where they're at. That because they got it all figured out. They said, well, Trump gonna get this many, and laughing gestures gonna get this many, and then they're gonna see. They have to first figure out how many votes they need to steal before they steal them. They have to know the number.
Yeah, because there's 11
they got
states.
to steal enough to win. Okay,
right.
If you had a deficit, you need to know what's going to bring you up to speed, and then you're going to need to know what's going to take you over.
Yep, there are the number of states. If you win 11 states in this country, you will get to 270.
And see, so
that's just a numbers game.
Yep, and that's the thing that's the most damaging in our community, because now that we're deemed we don't want to vote for the Democrats, we do. A lot of people are ready to change. Everybody that I've been talking to is saying, you know what, Pastor, you're right, man. I think it's time for Black people to really look at another party. Look at the Republican Party. Look at the Robert Kennedy Party. It's time for us to look at something else, because it becomes insane when you keep doing the same thing over and over again, and you're expecting a different results.
Yeah. A lot of people have been upset only because, whenever Ms. Harris speaks, she's speaking upon things that she can actually fix now.
Yes.
And she's in office right now. People are like, you're in office right now. Why aren't you fixing it?
Why don't you just fix it?
You've been here for this many years. It's off the rails and you haven't fixed it yet? Really?
That's what I want people to get to see. People, they're all on social media and they be saying, oh, Pastor, you hard on the sister. And I'm saying, how could you even vote for her when she's been in office all of this time? Right. And now, how can she tell you that she gonna fix a problem that she created?
Yeah, exactly. She did this.
She created it.
Remember that little sticker that says with Joe Biden, it says, I did this? I mean, they need to start making stickers with her pointing, saying, I did this, because she did.
She can't blame, they was blaming they were blaming Donald Trump for everything.
Yeah.
When the sky turned gray, Donald Trump turned the sky gray. Donald Trump. And then when Trump got office, they still blamed him for stuff for the first years, still blaming him for stuff. As the economy went down, all this new culture being pushed on us and just shoved down our throats and telling us, Trump did it. Now they can't blame him. And folks, look at us. They even tried to kill the man. That ought to tell us something is wrong with this picture, and we need to be holding them accountable for what they're doing. But everybody talking about, this is what I hate the most, sister. Why is it they trying to make this a racial race? Why are they trying to trick Black people, ain't they?
Because that's all they have. That's all they have. I mean, and somebody actually went back and to every election just to see, why are we having so many riots or different things like really close to the election, is because they always make sure that there's a white officer that kills a Black individual. And
yes, all the time.
Over the past 4 elections that we've had. If you look back between the last 2 weeks of July and the first 2 weeks of August, Sonia Massey, and then before this, we had other individuals in Ferguson. We had other individuals in Florida. It is always every 4 years. And then the Democrats want to say, see, look, the Republicans with their guns, we need to take away the guns, and they're racist. Like that's their headline. Take away the guns, they're racist, vote for us.
But you know what? And I just keep pounding common sense into the American people, because We see these with our own eyes. We see them happening to us physically, psychologically. They're happening to us. They're happening to our children. What happened to the American pride in people when they say, hold up, enough is enough. This is not the way this country was built. This is not the way we was raised. When are we going to say enough is enough and we need to look at some January 6th? Because I'm telling you, this is not the American way of life. This is not what this country was built on. And I'm just tired. I'm tired of watching ignorant people get put into office. She think that she's the black woman version of Barack Obama. That's what they feel in her head are full of. She keep thinking that black people are stupid. Black people, they keep playing the same race card game on us every time they have nothing to do.
But that's all they can do. And here's my thing. That is all they can do because that's what they've unfortunately based part of their party platform on. That's what they've done. They've turned this into a race issue. It's not an ethnicity issue. It is not a lineage-based issue. And it just, like I said, I find it ironic and amazing because up until she got the nomination for vice president, she was not a black. She was not. She would try to relate to black people, but she was always Indian. She was always Asian descent, Asian Indian descent.
But that's the game. That's the game right there. And the Democratic Party has been the best at this game. They really have. They know how to push black people button. See, black people, every time you hear pastor talking about emotional, see, at some point in our lives, we have to learn from our past experiences that every time we get emotional, see, they used to us burning down cities when we got emotional in the past, and then they passed laws against us. Black people were strong. We said, we'll burn this damn town down. And we did. But then as time went on, they used different tactics for us to get emotional. Mm-hmm. They start killing black people, police officers killing, the George Floyd type of stuff. And all these things are implemented at certain period of times. Yeah. So when the police then killed so many at certain election time, they had to move to another thing. Then they moved to COVID. Now I can tell y'all people right now that
we got one more coming for us, sir. There's a new one. New one.
I have to ask the people. Now listen, we went through COVID, which was the biggest scam in American history, healthcare scam in American history. And people still wearing masks around here in the broad open daylight. They got masks on.
Outside.
Okay? By themselves. Outside. Even driving in the car by yourself, you still see it with a person with a mask on in the car. Now, you have to ask yourself one question. How is it that I just heard that COVID is on the rise again? COVID done hit Florida so bad. Now, COVID is on the rise again. And by the way, monkeypox is on the rise again. Now, wait a minute. Now, ask yourself this question. If Joe Biden came out and told y'all that COVID was cured, remember that lie he said, oh, it's no more, it's COVID is gone. Psychologically, that should have told you that it was fake. Now, here we are at the potential election to lose the Democrats. They're looking for something to try to stay in office and to freeze their power. And so, y'all gonna see it. They said that COVID was back and monkeypox. Now, monkeypox is the boils. They're like lesions that break out on you. And they start breaking out on the homosexual community right at the end of COVID. Remember that, Doc?
Yep.
The monkeypox, they came at the end of COVID.
Yes.
And they got a lot of money for that.
Yeah, it's very interesting with that one because I looked it up because I wanted to find out more about it. And they actually pretty much eradicated it in the 70s after a certain vaccination that they came up with. And it's been gone. I mean, it is a form of herpes because it falls under pox.
There you go. It's herpes.
Yes. Right. But it was zootonic because it was actually something that transferred from from an animal to a human, which also means they had to use gain of function in order to do that. So the whole thing was designed to be a biological weapon that failed because it would not replicate once it hit so many humans. It just died out. It wasn't airborne. So it wasn't like, smallpox or chickenpox that we deal with now. You actually have to come in contact with it to get it. And so if you're not in contact with somebody, you really, truly cannot get it. It's not airborne.
Well, the study went on to say that if you were having anal sex.
Specifically.
That's what the study said. So y'all don't think that pastors are saying it. So if you're having anal sex, you can get monkeypox. And
but it has to be with somebody that's infected.
Yeah, but that's like, let's keep it real 100. That's like a form of leprosy. Because basically, when you talk about herpes is a form of leprosy because they open sores up all over your body.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they got a lot of money off of it. They eradicated, but it died down right after, they stole the election and they got the money from COVID and they got the money from that. They didn't say nothing else about it.
No.
But
because people weren't buying it and people aren't going to buy it again.
And that's what I'm saying. But the reason why I'm saying is because the American people need to look at this pattern of trying to create a disaster.
Yeah,
they're looking for a disaster right now because the DNC, the dumb N-word convention, black people they looking for black people to put themselves and come all up in there and jump up and down and hoop and holler and listen to Common and talk about, it was a historical night, and take your broke butt home after you done gave all the money you had to somebody who's going to get $1 trillion. The Obamas and the rest of these families going to get trillions of dollars put in their pocket on next week. They laughing all the way to the bank. They got Joe's money. The money they say Kamala's not raising that money. That's the money that's being washed through the convention now of the money that they stole from the Israel war, the money they stole from the Ukraine war, the money they stole from COVID and all of that. Hang on a second. This is Ben.
Oh, wow. We got a call in.
Hey, Ben. Ben, can you hear me?
Yeah, hey, I got you.
Listen, I was on the air, man. I'm doing a quick show. I wanted to give a quick update. I know you're going to be here for the convention, right? Hang on for a minute. What'd you say, Ben?
I get in on Saturday.
Okay, good. Okay, then when you get here, there's a film crew that's going to be here. You can say hi to the world today. Folks, this is Ben Bergquam, the super reporter across the country doing great things. Say hello to our audience, Ben.
What's going on, guys? God bless America.
So when you get in, let's get together because I want to be with you. I got a team that's following me to do a documentary. I'll call you when we get off the show and we'll get some logistics worked out.
All right, sounds good.
Keep up the good work. Blessings, brother. Folks, that was Ben Bergquam. He's here for the DNC. We will be reporting live from the DNC. And we want to get the truth to the American people. We want them to know actually what's happening out there. It's going to be quite a few people out there, and rightfully so. People should be demonstrating. They should be complaining about the wars, our economy, the state of affairs in this country. And we're going to bring that reporting to you 100% accurate with David Zier, Ben Bergquam, myself, Terry Newsom, and all of those who out there with Real America Voices doing a good thing out there, getting reporting to the people.
Well, also make sure to get the footage of the agitators that they may bus in.
Yeah, what?
Because that happens.
Well, I was on the show earlier. Like I said, I was on Steve Gruber's show yesterday. And there's going to be a lot of dissenters out there who is going to start trouble.
Unfortunately.
even though the Democratic Party is inside the building trying to brainwash the people in there to help them cheat, because they're going to give them their marching instructions. We have to steal this election through the polls. That's what this convention is going to be about, because there's no way that anybody in their right mind believe that these two people are smart enough to run this country. They are not.
Easy to me. Her choice in vice president. It's like, has anybody looked at his state? Has anybody? I mean, just go to their .gov for their state. I mean, they're putting tampons in the boys' bathroom. That is a real thing. I know a lot of people might think, oh, that's just you guys talking. No, it is a real law. It really is there. The books that have been shown and read that are very explicit, those books are in some of those schools in that state, because this particular governor, he sides with the LGBTQ cult.
Yes.
He sides with that. So they're okay with castrating children. They are both okay with pedophilia. And I need America to wake up to this. Like, this should be a complete disqualifier that you want to support illegal activity. Why they keep trying to push this MAPS, this minor attracted persons, as if it is something that's okay. Pedophilia is not okay. I don't care what you call it. It's not okay. It's illegal activity, and it needs to be stopped.
And that's the thing too that the American people need to be aware of. They start changing the names and the narrative to us. Just like, how you gonna be a pedophile and you love raping and doing what you want to do to kids,
right?
But then you change the name of it so that it can be considered it's just a disease. Oh, they're people just like us. They're just minor attracted people. Let's just change the name from pedophile to MAPS, and that makes it okay.
No, none of it is okay. And I think the insult to injury, I want to say it's either Missouri or Minnesota. It's okay to marry a child that's under the age of 18 as well. So they have issues. And this is just not in that area. Okay, this is in other parts of the country as well. So nobody gets a pass on this. But we need to call it out. Because it's like, okay, we do have children that we are obligated to protect, and we're not protecting them. We're not protecting them at home, at school, most definitely not at school, and just out in the general population. Like, what have we become as a society where we keep compromising? There has to be a point where we say, absolutely not. This is not going to be tolerated, and you're going to stop it, or you're going to jail. Like, that's it. We have laws; they just need to be enforced.
But see, that's the trick of the whole thing, man. We've allowed them to make us think that they're in control, that the school now is a surrogate parent, man.
Right.
And to parents out there, how could you even fathom the thought of allowing somebody else to take your child and tell you that this wants to be a girl or a boy, and then take your child and start cutting off? How could you as a parent say you love your child if you let these things happen to them? Right. It's happening every day in the schools, every day.
Yeah. And we have someone running for president that's okay with this.
She's okay with it. I need
everybody to know that while she was a DA in California, she suppressed evidence against the Catholic Church for people that had been raped. And the reason why I know that story, because it was made public, but also a firm that I had worked for were taking on certain clients to go to bat for them, to help assist them in their legal struggles because of what she did as the DA there. So she's okay with suppressing evidence, talking about she's the top cop. No, she's not. She's a very, she is a very undermined person. She does not care. And so you want to say, okay, she doesn't care, about that part of it, pedophilia, but insult to injury, she's okay with people castrating themselves. She's okay with all of this. And we need to say, okay, no. And the person that's next to her is okay with it as well.
He is the governor. And listen, ever since he's been into office, Minnesota has never bounced back.
No.
That whole town is still burnt down the way it was years ago.
Yeah.
And yet he get together and take a wreath over there to George Floyd, who they praise as some civil rights leader. George Floyd was not an icon. He does not deserve to be at the level of Malcolm X and Dr. King. He was not.
No,
George Floyd was used. We said the same thing. He was used.
Used as a ploy to pull on our emotions to say, hey, you can't vote for the Republicans because this is what they want for you. You have to vote Democrat. And it's like, no. As far as I'm concerned, both parties have really failed the American people, and somebody needs to stand up and fix it. Right?
Well, you know, that is a huge problem. But the biggest problem for me as a pastor, I see my community dying.
Mm-hmm.
I see all the tricks that they have played. Yes. I can see families that have been destroyed by drugs, homelessness, incarceration. I mean, marriages breaking up over money or crazy stuff. Black men and women are not getting together. All the things that I see as a pastor that's happening in the Black community. And I pray to God, I'm saying, why are our people so sleep? Why do we hate ourselves so much that we would stay divided, and yet we're probably the strongest people on the planet?
Right. Yeah, especially in Chicago, because they primarily are a Democratic state.
And we can pick who we want.
And you go, okay, so everything is off the rails. Nothing's going well, but you're still voting for the same party? Like, you know what I mean? Like, none of it makes sense. It doesn't make sense. I'm sorry.
You know what?
You need a change. You need a change.
Let me tell you, I'm going to shoot this quick story at you one time. And everybody saw this. Everybody saw this. And this is what has happened to Black people. See, during slavery times, when I watched the show Roots, there was a part in Roots that was so true that you could see the same effect in our society today. Okay, it was James Evan on Good Time played Kunta Kinte, right? And Kunta Kinte came to America, but he kept running off from the plantation. They did everything to stop him because he would be a runaway slave. They go find him, they bring him back, they whip him, and he still would run away again. So they cut his foot off. Well, he couldn't run away, but he still did things contrary to what the master wanted. But this is how they broke him. And this is what's done happened to Black people. It's called the Stockholm Syndrome. Mm-hmm. They started beating him with that whip, and he was proud of his African name, and they kept hitting him, and they stopped to say, "What's your name?" He would say, "I am Kunta Kinte." "What's your name?" "I am Kunta Kinte." "What's your name?" "My name is Toby. I'm Toby." They broke his spirit.
Yeah.
The spirit of Black people have been broken.
Yeah.
Our psychological spirit has been broken to the place where even though we are free, we just like a dog without a collar, and there's no fence. And every time I get to a certain place, if I want to run around my neck, I get shocked. Mm-hmm. And I won't get to a place where I won't even go to that part of the fence no more, even though I ain't got the collar on no more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've been psychologically trained to self-censor. We've been psychologically trained to hate ourselves.
Yes.
And we've been psychologically trained to make sure we stay like crabs in a barrel and pull each other down when we see one of us actually achieving. Because we're afraid if you get out away from us, you're not going to take the rest of us with you.
Well,
and that's a problem, because once one of us does get out of that barrel, we do not come back to save the rest of them, because we don't know if we're going to get absorbed back into the rest of the crabs in the barrel. I'm just saying, like
Yes.
psychologically, that's
Right.
how you think. And we shouldn't have to think that way as a people, but that's how we've been trained. We've been
Yes.
trained to destroy ourselves. So when you can create a people to not love themselves, and this is just something that I've seen, if you can
Yes.
train them to hate themselves,
Yes.
ultimately they will destroy themselves. And that's where we're at.
And that's what the Democratic Party has led the way. And see, that was so well explained. And people, Black people, that's what the Democratic Party has done. When you dummy a race of people down, first you make sure the future generations are not going to be smart, because we do not have smart future generations. Only the select few, only the elite kids who are going to go to college, who are going to have the money. They're not looking for grassroots people and our children to survive. They're not.
Mm.
And so that's why I say you got to dummy them down for future generations so they can just die out. Because dumbness, when you have no type of smarts, then you have no intelligence. You're going to follow whatever they tell you to do.
And that's what they want. They want a race of people that they can control. But here's what evil isn't just dumb and stupid, because they don't realize the repercussions of what you're doing now is going to come back on you. You can't teach people not to read and do simple math now and not expect for that to come back on you. There are more of us than there are of you. Okay. And it was interesting because I saw, I think I was watching InfoWars, and they showed a scene from the movie Ants, where it's the ants and the grasshoppers. Yeah. And the grasshopper explained to the other grasshoppers, if you don't stop all of them, you can't control them. You have to make an example of one of them to make the rest of them scared, because there's more of them than there are of us.
Yes, I remember that movie. And that is so correct. And that's how they have ruled. They've ruled with psychological, they rule with narratives. And I'm saying that the Democrats have done this to the Black community. The same people that you vote for, to Black people, what are you looking for? If you're looking to vote for Kamala Harris, there's got to be something psychologically wrong with you, because she's been the vice president for over 3.5 years, and she could have easily, right now, make the changes because she's in power of the country.
Right. And it's her job to work with Congress to make sure a lot of those laws and bills that are written to benefit the people. It's her job. Like, that's why you are there.
Yes.
And you haven't done this, but all of a sudden, oh yeah, we have inflation. Oh yeah, we have this.
Right.
But here's my thing. I honestly think they're going to take us to war. They've got 3 proxy wars to choose from.
Yes, they do.
They take us to war. They suspend the election to install this individual.
Yes.
Because they can't. Yep. That is the easiest path forward. Because right now, all of this, keeping her away from the media, they're not allowing her to be interviewed. I guarantee you, by September 1st, and I think this is my prediction, they're going to put us at war so they can suspend the election. That way, when the election comes and goes, that time of November 5th, they'll say, oh yeah, we're still at a time of war, but we need to transition because we already know that Mr. Biden isn't well enough to serve another term. Now we're going to pass it on over to these individuals. Well, and they'll just be installed. That we won't even have an election.
Exactly. And I was talking about that earlier. And that's the risk that we're running, because they're going to try the COVID and the monkeypox again. But see, those are money vehicles.
Yes.
Because here, see, what Chicago, see, this is why I say you get a lot of money in, you push it away, you hide these pieces. The mayor of Chicago still has $1.7 billion of COVID money that they haven't spent.
Yep.
Now think about that. Why would Brandon Johnson have $1.7 billion, and they put it in the paper last week, and the taxpayers are not picking up on it? Ain't nobody saying nothing, because he got that $1.7 billion. They have to acknowledge it because it's on paper.
Yeah.
Now that they've acknowledged it to the general public on paper, that money is finna disappear. That money is finna be washed right over here through the convention. And that's why they keep getting all these millions of dollars saying, oh, they're washing the money through. They're washing the taxpayers' money through the convention, saying Nepad Harris is getting all of this money from donations, and people are not donating that money. That's the money they've stolen already from the American people and taxpayers.
That's so sad. That's so sad.
And now they're raising our taxes. They're steady changing laws to protect themselves. They're steady doing things to destroy the culture of America. They're steady doing things to destroy what God created, marriage between a man and a woman. People, I cannot see how we're losing rights and the way we're living, and the people that are doing it are in our eyes, in front of us, telling us, yeah, I'm in office, I can fix it, but I'll wait till after I'm in the other seat before I fix it.
Yeah,
when you're already in the seat, man.
Exactly. You have the ability now. You have the ability now, but you're saying you can't do it. But oh, I'm sorry. You're not saying that you can't do it. You're just avoiding the question altogether. You're just dancing around it all together. People did not want her to be president the first time.
No.
So, like I said, installation is honestly her only path forward. That's her only path.
Well, I think right now they're not going to be able to win the election fairly.
No.
They already know that. They can't win it fairly.
Like I said, suspend the election. That's your only pathway forward, because nobody wants to see this mess, right?
No.
But martial law won't even work, because you could try it, right? But people would still be able to vote just by proxy, okay, if they mail in their ballots. But that's still not a good thing, right? Because then you're still counting ballots. I'm telling you, they're going to suspend it and install this person. And they're going to keep us at war until they figure out how to continue to destroy our country. And as the republic that we have, in order to save it, we, the people, need to stand against what is going on. Because even if they do this quote unquote installation, and I am speaking hypothetically, we can demand to go to the Supreme Court, demand their removal from office. Now, if they just want to do it by court, that's fine. We can do this by court. We will demand that you step down, and we will demand a new installation of government.
But
and
you
we
know
have
what?
Every right to do it.
But you know what, Doc? They're so evil. They're so crooked that there's no righteousness going on with the Democrats. And I'm hoping that Black people have seen it. We should have had enough right now.
Yeah.
We see it. This has not been good for us and our families and our children. It has not been good for us in any kind of way. And like I said, our back is against the wall right now. The Black community back is against the wall. We're fighting the illegals. We're fighting the crime they bring. We're still trying to take care of our families and hold what's left of them together. Black men and women aren't getting married. We're separated as a community. You know, that we got the elites, the grassroots, the middle class. We got all of these separations in the Black community, and a divided house cannot stand.
No, not at all. Not at all. We can't stand. And we've really come to the point in our country where, to your point, enough is enough.
It is.
We need to really start focusing on what we can do to save our families and save our future families, right? I have a grandson and I have children, as you do. And we really need to start focusing on, can they read? Can they write? Can they do simple math?
Yes.
Because in 30 years, I'm going to be in the position where I need the assistance from somebody else.
Yes. And you know
do
what?
I want somebody who cannot read, write, or do basic math?
Man, this is so crazy, man. But you know what, Doc, man? We're going to do something. God is not going to be mocked. He is not going to let his people be destroyed like this, because this is his planet. Your last words, we got to get out of here. It's been great. Tomorrow, I want to say this. Tomorrow, I want you here. We're going to have a guest. We're going to have Prophet Christine McCarthy. She's out of New York, First America Warehouse. And she's doing a prayer vigil. Folks, you can go to my page, David L. Lowry Jr., and look at the flyer that's there. We're going to share it around LetTheTruthBeToldRadio.com. And this prophet has, and I know her well, she's for real. God has given her the vision for his people to stand up on the 18th of this month. And I'll send it out to everybody to take some time and worship God. Take your family, your church, take them to a beach somewhere and worship God and ask God for forgiveness for what we've done. This world needs prayer right now, Doc.
Yeah, it truly does.
It needs it. And the scriptures talk about if my people would call my name, and the only way you can call God is praying.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be praying. We need to be doing some things in that kind of way. And I'm going to have her on the show tomorrow. I welcome you. I want you here. I'm going to have her on the show, and she can explain this vision because she's very prophetic. And she's told me some things, and they've come to fruition to the T. And we're going to have her on here tomorrow. But Dr. Last, get out of here.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for that. And also on the 18th, if you are in the South Bend area at Life Changers Church at 6 p.m. on the 18th, they will actually be doing something similar. They'll be praying and also talking about the state of the educational system within the city of South Bend and just bringing together educators, those in the political arena, and several churches to really work together to help our students and our teachers in the academic realm. And as usual, please check us out at usaredemptionparty.com. We are looking for members and candidates of the party. We need any donations you can send us. We've got 4 candidates that will be running this fall in the city of South Bend. 3 are nonpartisan and they're running for school board. And then we have 1 running for county council for District D in the city of South Bend. Her name is Maria Fleming. So check out the candidates page and section and we need your support. Thanks.
Hey, thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great evening. And folks, I want to thank you for tuning in to the show. These are going to be my last words. See, to the American people and patriots across this country, and to Black people, especially my people, this is for you. In our lives, we have always been used and abused since we've been in this country. And when our parents came through and they fought for civil rights and they got them, they fought the dogs, the hoses. They watched Black men and women being hanged. They watched their businesses be bombed. They watched their homes torn apart with crosses. And I watched all of it through my eyes, and all I saw was Black people coming together. No matter what they did, no matter how they tried to destroy the Black community, the Black community stood and said one thing: we don't want your money. We don't want nothing from you because we can get it ourselves. All we want is some respect. God bless y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. That's all.